to another Secrets of the Pros on behalf of the Department of Youth Services. I am your host, Andrew Rayburn, mixing master engineer and musician. We want to give a shout out to all the artists that have been working with us. We have our new release if you go on YouTube, including Lady Ice, Summer Vibes. That's her new song out. Be sure to check it out on YouTube. Also, we're coming close to hitting our 200 subscribers mark if it's not there already. And as promised, every time we hit that mark, we're gonna release a full mixing video. But today, it was requested from email that one person asking about how we do dancehall arrangements and dancehall composition. Now, first of all, I don't really have a set template for building dancehall. What I do I have a rough mixing template. I already went through this with you all, so I'm not going to go into it. When I told you about everything I have comes out of three main buses: drums, music, and vocals. And then that stems to the mix bus, which is all the dry signal, and that comes out of the mix bus, which I do my processing. So I would start off from there. I have little plugins. Maybe just a double on the effects return and maybe a reverb and a guitar stamp box if I need one. But other than that, as you can see, I have no plugins on any instrument track. So I'm going to cut straight into it. So I'm going to do a dancehall. This is going to be something like the modern dancehall, maybe like a Jamaican artist style, maybe a Gaza Slim Spice something, So let's get down to it. You don't need to have any expensive instruments, guys. You can either use whatever. You can use. I have an M1 here that has a lot of great synthesizer song. If you go on the synth category, you have a lot of songs you can play with, right? So, but the main one I'm going to use today is from a Native Instruments. So I'm going to go straight to my contact here. And the instrument I'll be using is a Future Pop. And this is the song right here. So I just go with what I, like or feel. I like the song of this. So what I'm gonna tweak some of the controls real quick. Give it a little bit of reverb, give it some emotion. I'm gonna boost the chorus a little bit so it gets a little bit wider. So we have maybe a little bit of delay. And as a musician, guys, the more you know about your chords, the better you can bring your arrangements. So I would dance out typically some bunks kind of notes, kind of little popish chords or something like that. Or you can do something like, you know how it goes. So let's go with this riff here. I'm playing A minor and G major, coming back to F major. Create a simple arrangement, right? I'm gonna set my metronome here. Maybe I increase it a little bit more because it feels a little bit slow. So let's work with that, right? I'm gonna record. So I have my record mode in bars so I can loop very quickly what I need. Fix this one note here, maybe to a quarter 8 note. So I'm gonna hit my Q for quantize. I'm gonna hit the quarter 8 note. I'm gonna apply that. Let's see. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna chop the end there real quick, and I'm gonna hit G, the shortcut, to group these into one a layer, you can say, so I can now loop the MIDI note. This is gonna be my mainstream instrument here. Next, I will move on to the drums. I like to use kick samples. It saved me a lot of mixing. Make sure you pick some nice, good sample, guys. I have one that is from this group called Deadly Drums, and they have some nice samples. So I will go in there and look for one real quick. Maybe this one right here. So I'll use this one here, and I'm gonna make a simple arrangement beat here with this kick drum. So let's bring up back the melody line. Just gonna pick a nice groove. So let's try that, right? So I'm gonna pick a nice little loop there. I'm gonna play the kick. I'm gonna loop that. And while I'm doing that, I'm sending my kick to my kick auxiliary. I'm gonna send the pluck instrument to its music axe. So I have the main foundation here. And that song is nice. Maybe I can back off a little bit on a reverb a little bit here. So let me go to the next part of it. I'm gonna use a hi-hat sample here. So I'm gonna pull up my contact here, and I'm gonna pick a nice hi-hats to put in this sequence. So I've recently downloaded a Lex Luger pack, so I'm gonna try a sample from that one. Remember, guys, you can use whichever instrument. Doesn't have to be high-tech stuff. I like nice, clean samples, right? Let's roll with this one right here. So check this out. I'm gonna be using step recording to give you some of that advanced Fruity Loops kind of composition. So let's test it out. So here we go. I'm gonna record that. I'm gonna bring back the rhythm here. So that one part there, I'm gonna take about 1 bar of it. In music production, guys, you want to move as fast as you can, especially if an artist is coming for a fresh beat. They have inspiration, and they don't want to wait too long. Well, if they have the time, they can wait. But typically, if you're there like an hour and you're barely reaching halfway in the beat, then things might get discouraging. So I try to get my rhythms about, let's say, about 10-15 minutes the most. I've found a basic foundation so the artist can develop his or her idea on the song. So I'm gonna use this little bar line here, and I'm gonna double click on it, and I'm gonna engage my step recording to do a little bit more in between recording on these notes. So let's do that. So right about here, I'm gonna turn on enable step recording. I'm gonna hit the notes about 3 times. I'm gonna play it back. Try that again. And there you could hear that little curve part there. Maybe right about here I do some more random playing here. Let's see what sounds like. Let's try another one here. Maybe right about here. I'm gonna increase the quantization to a triplet note here. And I'm gonna try it again. Okay, that one there, I'm not too liking that one. Let's try it again. Right about here, I'm gonna hit the notes again. All right, there we have it. So I'm gonna take that now. I'm gonna loop that. Let's bring up let's bring up my enlarging the mix window here for a bit. So there we have the hi-hats, the kicks. I'm gonna move on to the bass real quick. So I'm gonna pull up waves elements. There is one that is called a deep bass. So I'm gonna use that. Let's go quickly on that. I'm not gonna spend too much time. Let's see here. Deep bass. The second bass category. There it is. So I'm gonna play the notes. So I'm not sure if you guys are hearing that, but I'm gonna lay that in the sequence. So let me bring that up. So I'm gonna bring that. So I'm gonna chop off the end there, and I'm gonna loop that. Let's play the bass again. I'm hearing a little bit of lift note there. It's slipping a little bit. Let's go again. Okay, so I'm gonna rough that in there. I'm gonna loop that. Okay, I'm liking that so far. So let's move on to the snare drum. I'm going to use Contact again. Majority of my production comes from Contact. I like to get popping drum songs. So let's try some clap. Maybe this right here. Let's work that in. Let's bring back the rhythm. Just a little random snare hit this here. I'm going to loop that. I'm gonna take that little hip hop loop, I'm gonna loop that, and here we have the foundation of dancehall stemming. And in a matter of minutes, guys, we have a dancehall track already stemming out. So the rest is just like fine touches. Maybe we can add some synth leads. And while I'm doing that, I can either route my instruments to a drum bus and send my synthesizers to a music bus. Let's pick our lead song. So I'm gonna go on the synth lead in the M1 and let's try this joystick part here. And normally I go with whatever song's good. If it goes with the rhythm, I just pick it. I don't spend a lot of time going through song. There's one, so let's check that out and see what that does, right? belch there on this instrument track. So let me take care of that real quick. Sometimes we make mistakes. That's okay. So here we have this lead. Let's bring it back. Now you just don't want to stop there, right? You want to add some movement. So what you can do is be creative. Maybe use something like a guitar stamp box and just load it up on your lead instrument tracks here and go through the presets. See how that we can make some interesting songs. Let's go through another one. And then we can add some reverb tracks here. Push it in our room, right? Now with stuff like this, I generally tend to leave it for a little bit in the middle. And then bring that stuff in. So maybe when the singer hits the chorus, then you start to hear these leads come in. So it'll be something like this. So right around here, you'll hear the leads coming. And then on the last tip, guys, I would bring in maybe a second snare just to give the whole track a body lift. So let's go through some. Let's look for some stronger hits here. Maybe something right like this right here. So let's bring that in. I'm gonna take that part right there that I played and I'm gonna loop that. And then what you can do is quickly go on your master bus. And the reason why we're doing this is you want to get your mix close to production level as possible. So I'm gonna slap a mid-side EQ. BX Digital 99% of the time ends up on my main chain because it adds width to the track. I'm going to play the before and after. I'm going to hit about 137% of width here. Before, after. And I'm going to do some small mastering here. And then as I go along, I would tend to try, let's put our EQ on the kick drum here. I'm going to use the SSL channel here. Just a little rough mixing while I'm developing the track because the track is getting low and I'm sensing that I need more power in the kick range, right? Oh, that sounds much better. And there you have it, folks. That's how we can quickly arrange a dancehall track, the modern song of dancehall, and input your ideas on your loops. Remember, it's a big plus when you know more notes as a musician that play a key role in producing music for artists. So we'll catch you on the next